So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he's saying, Antum fi zaman, you are in a period. He's talking to the tabi'un. Antum fi zaman, you are in a zaman. Kathirun ulama'uhu, qalilun khutaba'uhu. You are in a zaman where there are many scholars and there are few khutaba. There are few people, there are few khatibs. Khatib يعني motivational speakers or people who give khutbas. So this is good. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is saying this is good. The scholars are more than the people who give khutbah. Although the scholars do give khutbahs as well. But what he's saying is, the scholars, you are in a zaman where there are more scholars than there are more of these motivational speakers. Because the khatib has to motivate people. فَكَيْفَ, he said, إِذَا سِرْتُمْ, what will happen, he said, if you come to a zaman, a time or a period, قَلِيلٌ عُلَمَاؤُهُ كَثِيرٌ خُطَبَاؤُهُ, where the ulama are few and the khutaba are many. The khutaba meaning people who speak about the religion, people who motivate others are many. My brothers, are we not in this time, in the time that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is referring to now? Of course we are. Every, as they say, Tom, Dick and Harry now can open a YouTube channel. Khalas. Can open a YouTube channel, and in order to get likes or subscribers or viewers, all they have to do is talk about something controversial about the deen. Anything controversial. They can, and yatafannanun, they have very creative minds, these people. And then what happens? They may add a hadith here and ayah there. That's the best of them. Usually there's no hadith or ayah. But they're talking bismid-din, they're talking about the religion. We're not talking about people who open YouTube channels to talk about the difference between drinking water and orange juice. La. We're talking about people who open YouTube channels or give themselves their own platform in order to talk about matters of the deen and then misguide others. How many are there? And then they have thousands of viewers. And they have tens of thousands of engagements. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of viewers. All of this matter because they are they are khutaba, they are motivational speakers. And so these people are many nowadays, whereas the ulama and the scholars nowadays, the people of knowledge, the people who have actually studied through asanid with the ulama, no one listens to them. Why? Because everything that they're saying, the people consider to be boring. People, psychologically speaking, like something that's new. But the Sharia likes something that's familiar and old. Ad-deenul atiq, the deen is old. Something that's familiar. But people don't like familiarity. People prefer something that's new. Everything new. Why do you think now they are, some of these people, they are making new ways to attract people with posters. Every time you see a poster that's worse than the first one, subhanallah. Al-Imam Malik, what did he say, rahimahullah ta'ala, with regards to this? He said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَغَرِيبَ الْحَدِيثِ. He said, I warn you about غَرِيبَ الْحَدِيث, things that are unfamiliar, things that are strange. Because there are people, especially some pretenders, some people who pretend to be students of knowledge, who always read the books of the ulama and they pick out something strange. They go to مثلا بطون الكتب. They go to مثلا الاستيعاب لابن عبد البر. They go to المغني or مجموع الفتاوى, and they go to a mujallad, that's the 7th mujallad, page 504, and Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah said this, something that is something that basically is considered, maybe it could be the haqq and the truth, but they've misinterpreted it, right? And they look for strange things and they start talking about this, and they start talking about this issue. And then obviously the nature of the people is that they want to listen to this because, oh subhanallah, it seems interesting. And then the juhal and the ignorant from amongst them say, subhanallah, no one talks about this. Yeah, miskin, there's a reason why no one talks about this. No one talks about this. Why don't the ulama talk about this? Why don't the scholars talk about this? Because the scholars are too busy teaching tawheed. The scholars are too busy trying to protect people from falling into shirk, from falling into bid'ah. This is why the religion does not like things that are new. Bid'ah, what is bid'ah? Bid'ah is something that's new, newly invented. Why is bid'ah warned against in the Sharia? It's newly invented. So knowledge is something that's familiar, my brothers. Not something that's new, not something that's unheard of, it's something that's familiar. متون العلمية, all of these hadith are familiar. كتاب التوحيد, ثلاثة الأصول, كشف الشبهات, القواعد الأربع, العقيدة الواسطية, القواعد المثلى. They've been around for 1400, more than 1400 years. Not the books, but the ma'lumat and the information in these books. There's nothing unfamiliar about them. So my advice to you, brothers, is always the best way to know whether this person is someone who is a scholar or has studied with the scholars, or is a khatib or just a motivational speaker, is look at that person. Does that person bring something that's familiar, or do they bring something that's new? If they bring something that's new, unheard of, some mas'ala or issue that no one apart from them, subhanAllah, is speaking about. Like one of them, for example, was speaking about Azzakumullah, things related to what the scholars said about how a man should have relations with his wife or something. These are things that are موجودة in the books, لا شك في ذلك. But what use is this? Billah alaykum, in what use do we have for this type of information here in the West? Can you imagine? People in front of you, subhanallah, people don't even know how to pray, how to make wudu. People have mistakes in their salah, mistakes in their aqidah, in their tawheed, and mashallah, tabarakallah, the only thing you can think about teaching them is this. That's how you know that this type of person is someone who's looking for attention. That's all. Khalif tu'raf. There's a saying in the Arabic language. The Arabs have a saying, Khalif tu'raf. Do you know what that means? من يعرف معنى هذا؟ خالف تعرف. نعم خالف تعرف. Do something new, then you'll become famous. Because if you say something that's familiar and you teach these boring books like Kitab al-Tawheed, everyone else is teaching them, ثلاثة الأصول, كشف الشبهات, no one's going to bat an eyelid, no one's going to notice you. So the only way to make people notice you is ماذا? Firstly, make sure that poster has some eye-catching images. Make sure that the title of the poster is even more absurd than the images, is even more strange than the images. And then make sure that you say something that's unheard of as well. That's how bid'ah starts. That's how innovation starts. So these type of people, my brothers, stay away from them. If you really have any aspirations of becoming a student of knowledge, if you don't have any himmah to becoming a student of knowledge and you're just looking for entertainment, then هذا شأنك. We have no way of guiding you. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide you. We can't help you. If you have any aspiration and any himmah to becoming a student of knowledge and a talib ilm who really wants to benefit first and foremost himself and the ummah as well and your local community, then my advice to you is don't taint your hadi. You know what hadi is? Don't taint your legacy by taking from these type of people, because what happens is you will learn from their etiquette and their adab. Look at how the ulama sit. Do you ever see the ulama, if you go and sit with the scholars and the ulama, do you ever see the scholars talking about themselves or praising themselves or elevating their status or promoting themselves? Wallahi alladhi la ilaha ghayri, you'll never find it. Abadan, mustahil. Mustahil. They have nothing. The scholars, they don't need to validate themselves to anyone. They don't seek validation. They don't care what people think. They only care about the haqq and the truth. And if you want to be like them, you have to take from them. This is very important. If you have no aspirations, but the thing is though, these ulama, they won't give you something. They're not there to entertain you. They're not going to be there to make you laugh or engage you. Their hadaf is not like engagement. They're not trying to engage you and keep your attention. La. They're there to give you the haqq. Whether you're engaged or not is up to you. That's between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. Nowadays, some people have made knowledge into a product. product like a marketing product. And they treat ilm as like a product that has to be promoted and marketed. The only way, subhanAllah, to bring people in their understanding to ilm and knowledge is to promote the knowledge, just like you promote Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or any of these products. So you have promotions and subhanAllah, all this glitter, come to this hall, do this, cameras everywhere. La. That's not ilm, ya ikhwan. You cannot promote knowledge. Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who elevates knowledge. If that's what it takes for you to come to a sitting and to a jalsa, that's the only way. Think about yourself. If the only way you study books and mutun is if the poster is nice and glamorous, and there is a promotion video, and there is all of these things that they do nowadays, if that's the only thing to get you to a sitting, then there is something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your ikhlas and sincerity and your aspirations and your himmah. Knowledge does not require that type of promotion, my brothers. Knowledge is simple. You open a book and you read. قال Allah, قال Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whoever comes, whoever doesn't come, it's their loss at the end of the day. So